Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week, we are back on the crown. I'm tackling the transmission tunnel today. It's a job and a process that I've been putting off for a while because, to be perfectly honest, I don't really want to do it. But it's got to be done because the car won't work without a transmission tunnel that will accommodate the reverse lockout and the neutral detent, because at the moment the gear shift is all over the place and that's not a good thing. So, yeah. Going to be lots of cutting and grinding and welding and grinding because I'm not that good of a welder, but I'm a good grinder. So yeah, we've got to actually remove a section of the seat crossmember. It is only going to be temporarily removed. We'll be putting it back in. So we've got to work out where to unpick it. I'm actually still tossing up if we unpick the whole thing so I don't actually cut it, then weld the whole thing back in the car. But if we do it that way, it's a much larger process. So yeah, I'm still tossing up what is the best way to go about that particular part of the job. The other option is that we can also potentially make some pieces to join it and then spot those back into place. So yeah, we're still sort of tossing that one up a little bit, but yeah, no doubt we'll all work that out together along the way. So we'll dive on in and start chopping the car up.
To the point of no return.
Before we cut the transmission tunnel up, I want to do something so that we can continue the visual of the project. I'm going to put our Shockworks coilovers in the back of the car. Obviously the fronts we've already discussed need to be cut and welded, but the rears we're just going to whack in now, hopefully, after I get that center cap off. The one thing is, I did put my full faith in the internet and ordered front and rear MX83 coilovers, so let's hope that they're actually the right length, because I'm a little concerned looking at that strut length versus what's in the box, that maybe that the internet has got me.
No way.
Which that's never happened before. That'll be the first time ever that the information that I've seen on the internet's not accurate.
Well, we're about to find out.
We are going to learn today. The factory Toyota nuts are shank nuts, and we're going to have the shank nut tapered nut chat again. Make sure you use the right nuts on the right wheels. But the reason I got these is because we needed short, like low profile nuts to fit under the center cap.
Yes, I recall.
Even though these wheels aren't staying on the car forever.
What?
I don't know if you're aware, I don't like these wheels. Once it's SEMA ready, much more motivated. People didn't like the scooter as much as we thought. We lost like 70 subscribers.
Yeah, that's a surprise. Hey, what's on your arm?
So if you like, huh?
What's on the other side of your arm there?
Nothing.
No, you're hiding that particular part that I'm trying to show.
That bit?
That bit.
Or that bit.
Or that bit.
Definitely wasn't a scooter related accident.
Do you care to share?
Seriously though, subscribe to the channel if you like our stuff, because it does help.
Yeah.
Please.
The scooters did not help.
The scooters didn't help, but subscribing does. Had I been wearing my race helmet and then I'd hit the ground, that's the end of the road for that helmet.
Yeah, I see.
And that's like a not cheap helmet. I know that sounds like dumb logic, but when you come off a scooter at like 50 k's an hour, it's not going to damage that helmet. But when they go into the ground, that's the end of them. Oh, that's tight. Might need a bigger gun.
Remember what we said last week about how whenever we try and film anything under the car, it's always like an overcast, dark day?
Yep, and guess what?
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. These are going to be slamtastic.
I think we're all hoping so.
I'm just a little concerned it might be too slamtastic.
Slamtastic as in like it works so well, or as in like it's way too far gone?
Nah, the ride height might be too low, but I have a plan for that, and it's all theory, so I'm hoping that it's going to work.
Is this also an internet-based theory that someone?
No, it's not at all an internet-based theory. It's a theory based on the fact that Shockworks literally have thousands of parts in stock, and maybe we can change the lower legs for ones with longer sleeves.
I see.
But again, it is just a theory. Well, that's different. Going to hell for that. Wasn't the pivot point, don't worry. Proper parallel four-link. I guess it's just triangulated, but that's a four-link with a panhard rod, whereas most triangulated four links don't have a panhard rod. It's not triangulated at an angry enough angle that it's really going to stop. Like, you can get marginal side shift on that because of the bushes. Anyway, that's a different chat for another day.
I have no idea about anything you just said.
Cool.
Was that English?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Do you speak it?
Clearly not. I better get out from under here.
You'll watch this episode back and be like,
No,
I still don't get it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm such a prick sometimes. Please don't leave me. Karen, I love you. Oh, I might even be able to use my electric ratchet in the boot. That'd be a treat. Being able to do coilovers with an electric ratchet is the dream.
That's one of those tools I find where you're not quite sure if you can justify the spend.
I mean, it's a bit cumbersome. The battery is the problem with this, not the actual tool.
How so? Does the battery like limit?
Just the size of it. Like a lot of the Milwaukee and Snap-on and all the other tool brands have like a 12-volt battery that's literally the width of the handle.
I see.
Whereas you've got this 18-volt battery that's like, I still like it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if Ryobi were to ever release a 12-volt range, they would just definitely dominate the DIY game, because there's still a lot of dudes that go and spend a house deposit on power tools that really don't need them. And then you have tradespeople like me, who admittedly I'm not doing this every day, so they're not getting full trade use, but they've gone fine in my opinion. Like, I haven't killed anything Ryobi yet, apart from one rattle gun, and it got dropped. So, I mean, any power tool's gonna die if you drop it hard enough.
Anyone would think we're sponsored by Ryobi.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Which would be nice.
It would be nice. Hey Ryobi, hit us up in the chat. Oh, what a luxury of being able to use a power tool to undo the strut tops. I'm not even gonna change the rear discs. There, I said it. Time to strut your stuff, Gian. Ho, ho, ho.
Nice. That's strike two for you today.
Early days.
It is very early days.
So I mean I can go home early?
Good joke.
Hey?
Good joke.
Did you say you're a jerk?
I said you're a jerk.
Thank you. I try.
You're married to whatever you said you'd do in the intro, and this is bonus so far.
Yeah, I didn't even mention this in the intro, did I?
No, this was very impulsive.
You know why I didn't mention it? Because I didn't know if it was going to work.
I see.
So through the power of editing, we can pretend it never happened.
All of a sudden, we'll just cut to nighttime. It'll be the shot of you doing the intro in the morning.
Just an angle grinder blazing through the floor, and then the interior's on fire. Hey, so far so good. I don't reckon we're actually going to have a problem with the ride height.
Oh God, don't say that. So
no,
early.
I think we're good, because that spring's going to be so soft. And even if that spring rate and that spring rate are the same, that 4-inch drop's fine. Now, admittedly, I do have these pretty much topped out, because conveniently there's this really nice hole on the Shockworks body that shows you when you get to the end of the thread.
Oh, that's cool.
And I wouldn't like to see any of the base of the shock exposed through that hole to make sure that you get good thread engagement, because if you have poor thread engagement there, over time you can actually hammer the threads. It's not common, mind you, and it's especially not common with steel body lower legs, but some of the older stuff has aluminium. Japanese coilovers, for whatever reason, a lot of the Japanese manufacturers made this piece out of aluminium, and there was 2 reasons why that caused problems, because electrolysis between a steel shock body and an aluminium lower leg basically made these things seize up really bad. And then the other issue is sometimes it's too soft, they're easy to bend. I bent some, I think they were K Office coilovers. Let's go and get them. Why not? They're actually Part Shop Max, not K Office, but they're much the same coilover. Aluminium lower leg, steel body, and apart from electrolysis, as it turns out, they bend really well when you hit a gutter. So these are actually from Adam's S13 Sylvia, when he was nice enough to lend it to me, and then I was nice enough to return the favour by putting it over a gutter and destroying about 2 grand worth of rear end stuff.
And I was nice enough just to need to go to the bathroom right at that moment. What
god, what happened?
Are you serious?
The 5 minutes I'm gone, go to the bathroom.
It appears that I have more ambition than ability. I found the one gunner that was on the motor carnival like circuit. Luckily the damage is fairly isolated to RIP rotor and the lower control arm, and luckily the lower control arm is one of the only arms we actually haven't changed to aftermarket yet. That was just a fail all around that day.
Yeah.
Didn't I break a car? Isn't the reason I took Adam's car because I broke another car the day before?
Yes.
Didn't the Cresta break on the first day?
Yes, that's right.
We broke the Cresta, so I'm like, screw it, I'll go back with another car.
Yep, that's right.
And then went full DJ Khaled and broke 2 cars in 2 days. Another one. I put the slam in some of that slam at least. So if you wind it out, you can see now that that's the bottom of the shock. So I like to always, at least at a bare minimum, have all of the shock in there. I mean, it still feels a little bit loose until you tighten the jam nut. So we'll, hopefully we're actually going to lower it more. So what I'm going to do is basically set both of these roughly to the same height so that when we put them in, we've only got to clock the bases. These are just a bit nicer than all of the other coilovers we've had, hey? Like just the quality is nicer. Like the machine collars are thicker. They're just nicer. Like they've got all these little like nylon isolators, really nice boots, good bump stops, nice little adjusting knobs. And the rear tops are actually rubber isolated too, which is a nice feature. Definitely makes them more compliant for road use, but they can lock out under load and under impact, so they're not just like a standard rubber top. They are definitely a lot stiffer than a normal rubber top, but they give you some level of cushion, I guess you'd say, for street use. Even the spanners are really nice. Like they've got like a really thick spanner, and then they got like, there's a thick one and a thin one. So it's because you're going to put way more load on the thick one typically.
So that's used
on
for...
it's for the smaller diameter collars. So you're really only going to use the thinner spanner to be locking the top and the bottom ring, whereas sometimes you do have to hang off these ones, especially if you do get a little bit of corrosion. I do like to use a bit of ceramic grease on the threads. So I will actually pull these apart and hit them with ceramic grease once I lock these collars up. How good's that magnetic tape measure? That's like a game changer.
Oh, cool. So the end of it was actually magnetic, so it holds it there automatically?
No, the actual tape measure is magnetic.
Oh, I see. Still cool. But I feel like I've just given away $1 million idea now.
Again? The last time those waterproof twisties was such a good idea until you tried to digest them and then they came out looking the same way they went in. I like to do this with all coilovers actually, because you just don't know what the car's going to go through.
I know this is a very trivial, small thing, but I also like the colour of them.
Yeah, well, it's nice too that the strut tops aren't like bright red or gold or something. Like in an engine bay, they're pretty subtle. I'll tighten that once it's mounted into the car. We only took one shock out so far, didn't we?
Yes.
I did that deliberately. Do you want to know why I took one out?
Sure.
Because I still wasn't sure if it was going to work or not. So I didn't want to have to put 2 stock ones back in if we were going to just put the stock stuff back in. But the internet has prevailed, and in this particular instance, they were correct. I wanted to test one.
It makes sense.
Don't even.
Oh no.
Oh, that sucks.
That sounds hard and go Suki.
Yep. Yes. Oh, are you serious?
Another one.
Magical magnet stick. Honestly, one day I reckon I'm going to reshell this into an MX-83, hey? Into a Cressida.
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, not really. Has to be a Series 1. Series 1 car. No airbags, no ABS. What? That seriously rolled all the way over there? This is going to be a 2-man job. So I'm going to put it in,
okay,
and then you're going to hold it, and then I'm going to put the nut on the top. It's really hard to put coilovers in by yourself on the back of most cars, hey? Especially, like some cars when you can open the door and get to the top, it's not too bad. Like a lot of Subarus you can do one-handed pretty easy, but anything that you've got to get it through the boot.
So what you're saying is you need help building the car.
Basically, yeah, you are my help.
I'll help build the car.
You have helped build the car.
I'll continue to help.
I'm back. Got it?
Got it.
Do you have it?
Got it.
Don't drop it.
Oh,
Don't
gosh,
drop it,
it's
I said.
heavy. It's heavier than what I anticipated.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I reckon I might have been like off my head the day I decided to try and make this thing go fast.
Yeah, you definitely need 2 Toyota drag cars.
Yeah, like a hole in the head. Well, the whole idea was this one was going to be Toyota powered.
Yeah.
Can you hold that now, please?
Yes. Let's go the other hand. Yeah, there we go.
Take my strong hand. You got your shot, now leave me alone. More flex than a 79.
That's not going to offend anyone because I'm sure that...
No forward drivers watch this channel, bro. They'll be too busy watching all the other 700 million forward drive channels. Sam Young might watch us. But he'd probably actually laugh at that because he knows it's true, even though he now has a 79. Of all the 79s I've ever seen, he has one of them. Anyone who's not from Australia is going, what's a 79?
Even I'm going, what's a 79?
It's the most expensive 30-year-old car you can still buy new from Toyota.
Oh, wow. Is that why they're so expensive? Because people are buying them new?
Well, it's just a Land Cruiser, bro.
Yeah, so...
But you can still buy the same design that Toyota... No, it's probably more like nearly 40 years old. Actually, 70 series Land Cruiser started in the mid-80s, I think. We should Google that.
Can't they do that for something that's actually cool, like GTRs and stuff?
Comments are going to be lit.
I thought I'd say it and decide later.
Nah, that's got to stay in.
Committed to it.
Well, that's the end of this channel. It's been real. This is actually the last episode for Brenny's Custom Works. Because all the forward drivers are going to come and kill us.
Yeah.
Now I've gone the other way. I'm using impact sockets as ratchet sockets. The internet's not going to know what to do about that.
So that would be like over-engineered for the job, right?
Well, it's not just that. There's multiple reasons why an impact socket and a chrome socket are different. Like typically an impact socket's going to be 6-pointed, even though some of my chrome sockets are 6-pointed. Right. Actually, all of my chrome sockets are 6-pointed. But it's more about the mass of the socket. Like that, you pick up the weight of that versus a normal 17mm socket. And this is much heavier because it uses inertia to break free loose tight bolts. These ones are a little bit different because they've got the flex, like the uni in them, so you will lose a little bit of force out of that. Thought about doing another video separate to this, like 10 tools to make your toolbox better.
Yeah, well, I mean...
What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
And subscribe. It's going to look like one of those, what do you call those cars that just like squat at the back? Are they
Junk.
Oh, man. I don't know which comment's worse.
Carolina squat truck. Which ironically they're now illegal in South Carolina, I think. That is the one thing I will continually enjoy to watch with Whistling Diesel. And literally I mean the one thing. Every time he destroys one of those squat trucks. I just don't understand his style. I'm just going to leave it at that. Plenty of people do, and that's fine, but it's not for me. And this is actually going to be fine for the ride height. Like I reckon we can drop. It'll obviously settle. That's clearly not the ride height, but it's also not monster trucky anymore. You know what the one thing we're going to have to do is get an adjustable panhard rod, because on a solid axle car, when you change the ride height, the panhard rod effectively changes length. So the diff is going to be pushed this way most likely.
To one side?
To one side, yeah. So what we need to do is effectively set the ride height and then measure the difference guard to guard and work out, well, I mean, you can measure it anyway and then shorten your panhard rod with an adjustable, or get an adjustable one and shorten it. So hopefully we can find something that's off the shelf close enough. Worst case, we might have to change some bushings.
So are you saying you just get a shorter one of these and should
we can get an adjustable one.
Ah, I see, okay.
So like the back of my Pajero Mini randomly has an adjustable one that it came with.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to bring the car down now.
Copy.
Do love a good squat truck.
Clearly not from your previous chat.
No one likes a squat truck. I don't think people that build them like them.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. A squat truck. I was talking about like, you know, like when you're in America and you put up at that servo and you saw that like
Oh, that's a
purple
donk.
thing. Ah, donk, right.
Oh, no, they're fine. Yeah, so Carolina squat truck is like when some 15-year-old kid puts half of a lift kit into a Silverado or a Ram. Or,
Yeah, right.
And it's always like a 1500.
I see.
And then it's always got like ugly wheels and
So it looks
generally like teal or light blue and bad interior that looks like it's from a 20-year-old ski boat.
So they're really just deleting all functionality of that vehicle.
And vision. Because like think about a Ram,
Yeah.
like the vision out of a stock level one is fine. Lift the
Yes.
front 6 inches,
It's
just,
like you're
just
carrying,
mowing over people on go-peds.
yeah, carrying invisible bricks in the back.
Some people are probably like, yeah, that's fine, people on go-peds suck. I don't hate it, but there's definitely room to go down. Like I like that at that height, that's sensible.
At the back there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's sensible ride
true.
height. We've got scope to go lower,
True.
but that is probably legal at that height.
What about ground clearance?
It's fine.
As he goes up on the hoist.
I hate it less now.
Boom, there's your motivation.
Yep.
Now let's get to the tunnel.
Yeah. Can we not? And that's the end of the episode. Okay, thanks, bye. I do like that all their packaging, for the most part, is cardboard. I did this brake duct kit on an 86 the other day for track school. Mm-hmm. Man, they have like plastic bags on plastic bags on plastic bags on plastic bags.
No good.
It's like, I mean...
How do they get away with it in these days?
America.
Yeah, I see.
I'm no like Captain Planet, but there's a lot of plastic in that just didn't need to be there.
Note to self, don't touch the doors, they're vice gripped. Hopefully I'm not watching this back later, knowing that I'm about to shut a door soon.
Yeah, the note to self doesn't work when it's live. So all of that can literally go. I don't even know what it does. Can you pass me some side cutters, please?
Reluctantly, sure.
It's not factory, bro.
Ah, okay. Then
It's some
sure.
junk that someone's put in there.
I feel like I should know where your stuff is by now, but I don't.
Yeah, that
Ah,
drop.
yes, win.
Side cutters.
Is that
They're
not
like kid
side
snips.
Rightio. Side cutters.
They're like them, but real.
The big ones.
Yeah, those ones.
The actual side cutters.
Thanks, man. No!
Far out.
Bro, you know there's no battery in this car. We literally talked about it an hour ago.
I know. Before I asked if I could turn the ignition on. And then
off.
I also asked if I could turn it off again just to try and get the steering lock. I don't know. It was just I couldn't walk away from the car, force a habit knowing the ignition's on.
Yeah, but you can't walk away from the car without locking it 700 times either.
Yeah, well, Sydney
Western
things.
Sydney things,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm just going to cut it here because it's not really in the integral part of the seat rail.
Not sure if your left hand is structural to your positioning, but it's in the way of where you pointed.
It's structural.
Okay.
It's directly structural.
Yeah.
I'll do it on this side.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to cut it here, I think,
Okay.
for the purposes of our videage. I think I'm just going to cut it there
Thank you.
on both sides.
Show us one more time. I'll
Just
really
there.
get in there. Yeah, nice.
Nice and deep like. Should take this handbrake cable out while we're here. Because we're not using it, because it's not actually a handbrake. It's a foot park brake, which is directly in the way of our clutch pedal. Let's pull that out while we're here.
Have you ever tried to do a handbrake turn with that?
No. 9 times out of 10, especially Toyota ones, you've got to push it all the way on to unlock it.
Yeah.
Like some of them have, like Mercedes ones have a release handle, so you could hold the release handle and kick it almost like stab it like a clutch. Yeah, a lot of Toyotas, they just have, like you've got to go all the way on to release it.
Yeah.
Like it almost over centers to release the ratchet.
So you'd have to like double kick it in order to actually perform a successful handbrake turn.
Well, it'd just lock on.
Yeah.
Like on. Clunk. Gotta take the center bearing back out. Cause it's in the way. And throw the can away. Now disabling the only brake this car has.
And throw the can away.
Oh, and drop the nut again.
That's a regular occurrence, it seems.
Oh yeah. Do you ever take up a hobby that's totally different to your normal day job or other hobby just so you don't have to talk about that hobby with other people? But then now I do the opposite and tell everyone that does into cars about golf. I'm literally that guy.
Do you try and get people into cars, or you say
No.
stay away from cars?
No, because then it's more people I've got to be responsible for their junk.
I feel personally
Because it's never, no, you were already into cars. You're not a product of me. Plus you're on the special list anyway. I like looking after your cars.
Thanks, I think.
Hey?
Thanks, I think. The special list.
Yeah, as in like the list of people that still get stuff done here.
Amazing.
The list's getting shorter and shorter. You're gonna have to vice grip that and hammer it back out, I think, because I've actually bent the seat rail, but I need to hammer it out in order to be able to drill the spot welds out because it's crushed in. The masking tape will burn. So if we grind too close to it, we'll burn through that. But the aluminium tape is less likely to stick directly to a dirty transmission case, whereas the masking tape will.
Okay,
so if I can stick nice aluminium tape to clean masking tape,
yep.
Great success.
Win-win.
Shout out to car builders, actually. These dudes make a lot of really good stuff, and they're an Australian company too, so highly recommend supporting them. And also check out the YouTube channel, actually. They build some really cool stuff, like way beyond my level of junk here. Tapey, tapey, taperson. It's got a pretty gnarly sound in it. There are some spot welds there, which to me says there's probably a bracket there. So I'm thinking I might actually cut it basically across those spot welds.
Changing up the interior.
Yeah, I just thought I'd go for like a faux white Kevlar wrap. So I'm just going to fiberglass over the top of that now. And that'll be the basis of our new dash.
It's chic.
Chic.
Yeah.
But no, they're fire blankets, so when we start cutting and grinding the interior, it's not going to melt stuff.
Good idea.
Unfortunately, I don't actually have as many as I was hoping. I could only get 2 today, so I'm going to steal the one off the wall because I think it's actually out of date anyway. But yeah, it's a bit annoying they're only 1 metre square. Like I feel like a bigger one would be much more usable. Ready?
How's that light in your eyes?
Oh, it's not great. So I've fractured all the spot welds, but as I said before, we've still got this panel tied up here because in my infinite wisdom I probably went a bit hard with the hammer in excitement of actually getting the gearbox into the car. So now we've got a few spot welds hung up, so I'm actually going to try and just wiggle it and break them out that way because there's every chance we're actually going to have to modify the front edge of that anyway. So I'm hoping to just separate that portion of the cross member off. She's pretty rigid. So that's just got that tack free. Cool. So I just had to pop that last spot weld. And yeah, we've got probably 2 or 3 that are hung up in that mess. Because there's literally 2 more spot welds that are holding that up at the moment. In truth, I didn't know what the top side looked like. I didn't realise it was this busy, shall we say. That's what we want. I've just got 1 spot hung up there.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, cool. So they're the braces I was thinking. So that'll work good because we can spot that back in. And then we've already got this joiner piece that we can just laminate back to. So that's going to actually work out really well. I'm going to drill this spot weld out further. It's going to separate that piece, which we no longer need. And then I can straighten this piece out because I just want to salvage that and tidy it up a bit. Like we don't need, that whole piece is going to get modified anyway, but I just want to take this big crease out of it.
Amazing.
I'm feeling slightly more confident than I was 15 minutes ago. Because yeah, that's repairable. That I can just pull out and modify, and then this part we can cut wherever we need to make the new piece work. I'm actually going to get in there and try and pry that now. because what I'll do is I'll actually repair portions of that out of the car.
Yep.
And there is a chance that that front edge we're going to have to put a scallop in anyway
Yes.
for the final shifter position. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're still going to have to cut and modify this front edge anyway. So I'm not too fussed at this point.
Scallops.
You're a bit of a seafoodologist.
Oh yeah, yourself?
I don't mind it.
I mean, when I say yes.
It depends on what it is, you know. Like I'm not...
Oysters?
Nah.
See, oysters is one thing that I would like to enjoy. The idea of them is good, but then I go and try and eat one and I almost
Throw
gag.
up?
Yeah.
I've never even attempted it based on other people's oystering experiences.
Yeah, or descriptions. They're like, it's just like swallowing snot, but it's like, well, that's not really
Let's not
nice.
pay $30 a 12 pack to eat someone else's boogers.
Yeah, and then I think I actually chew them too much, which is
Yeah.
where I apparently go wrong.
But what's the point of just throwing something down your throat that you're not even going to eat or
Took the
like
words right out
savor
of my
the
mouth.
flavour?
Yep,
Like just...
yep. Prawns are good though.
I'm just going to stop talking because this is going to go bad.
It's going south, is it?
Oh, it's...
Deep sea south. I see. No pun intended.
Arr.
You know what I'm shocked about?
I don't even want to answer that question.
Okay, well, let me answer it for you.
Please do.
I'm shocked at how easy it is to cook prawns. I mean, it takes 2 seconds.
But see, that's the thing.
Takes 2
It takes 2 seconds.
Uh-huh.
If you take 12 seconds,
Yes.
you're eating like calamari in the
Overcooked.
shape of a prawn.
Yep, true. I feel like people that don't even eat seafood like calamari. You know, battered calamari.
Yeah, but I feel like calamari is like the junior burger of seafood. It just gets you in.
It's a gateway.
Come on, Timmy, just try a bit of calamari.
It's always Timmy.
You want to be cool? Now's the moment of truth. I'm going to cut this piece. You know what they say? Measure no times, cut once. I'm going to keep this piece because I feel like a lot of these shapes could be handy for other stuff. So those white plugs there are what we've got to keep.
Yep.
So basically we're pretty well there to try and keep it all the way back to there and then just dress this up a bit. You know what I mean?
No, but I like it.
Cool, good chat. Because a lot of that side's gonna have to be trimmed out anyway. That and that is basically exactly the same width. That is marginally narrower than that to the point where this will probably slip under that.
Wow.
Winner. Thanks, Toyota. Legends. Which then begs the question, do we put the whole piece in from the bottom? Like if this fits under that, do we then basically drop the box out
I see.
and fit this whole piece from under the car?
I see.
I feel like that might be where we're heading. This is factory fitted from the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is knock out all the spot welds for this piece from here back and just take that whole piece out rather than cut it and have all these weird layers.
Oh, okay, cool. So it could be even cleaner putting it in from the bottom.
Oh, for sure. Because what I'll do is I can trim this hole out to be fairly neat. Then this will just pop up from the bottom.
Yeah.
And then this whole piece that I've butchered is gone. It doesn't exist.
I see.
Because it's going to be replaced by that. That's where that needs to go. I'll do the finish cut on the front side, which will then allow the clearance for those screws to retain the center console, because that's where we want it. So I'm just going to mark it on the floor and I'll mark it there. So realistically we need 20 mil out of it. It's close. I'll cut above that line so I can sand it back. Didn't want to cut through that nut. That's the scrap that I've just cut off and it's going to fit almost perfectly inside that. There's still another full day in this now.
Wow, okay.
Like in, as dumb as it sounds, like I don't get 2 goes at this.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to be like, shit, yeah, we'll just chop all this out. Exactly like what this already looks like. I don't want to do this again and then have a hacked floor and all these problems that we can't really easily repair.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it'd be suboptimal. I think the best course of action is just we basically get a game plan together today, and then we've got the piece to go into it. Like, people aren't gonna want to watch an hour of me doing one transmission tunnel today. They've already left at this point anyway. It's just me and you talking to each other. So like, that's the bit that I've got to go in the car, and it's pretty much spot on there. So I think I want to actually overlap it and give it an extra. I think I'm going to cut it on the back side of that bead roll, because then it will actually give me something to butt weld to as well. Then it'll give me a good overlap. We need to actually widen the tunnel a little bit to fit that piece in. But I need to work out how to do that, because I actually I think what I'm going to do is section this piece here and bring it in and make it like a gradual transition out wider.
Yep.
Because we need this width here to clear the shifter parts. What I want to do is basically cut the tunnel piece out, get the box installed with the shifter, and then make sure that this all still fits before we weld it in.
Good idea.
So there's going to be a full day of the box in and out, like 3 times.
I see. So the next immediate step from this point is
Go home.
take the box out. Is that what needs to happen before you can accurately?
Yeah, I mean, we may as well pull the box out, and then we might pull the box out today and cut it, actually. I don't know. How many hours of episode do you think this is already?
Ooh, this is past Gian talking, and I'm going to guess 35 minutes.
Oof. Long format. Well, you know what? I feel much happier now having this apart, because I was literally like over this car because of a few of these type of jobs, like just
like you're imagining scenarios of what's
just
under
train
that.
wreckage. Yeah. Just trains rolling over on fire in my workshop, basically. Was not looking forward to it.
Yep.
Still not going to be great, but we're going to make it great.
Again.
Make Toyota Crowns great again.
Hey, that's a catchy catchphrase.
Someone should use it in an election.
Benny for president.
Oh God, don't start political arguments in the comments, because I don't care about politics. When I say I don't care, I mean I don't want to get involved. It's not that I don't care, I just don't have a public opinion, and I don't want to get involved in an argument on political experts, because I'm not one of them. And you could say whatever you want and it'll confuse me and you'll win the argument, so whatever.
Same. I feel like I don't know enough to make any valid comments, but then I also think that's what politics is all about. So
like
maybe
confusing
I do get
people?
It. Yeah, like that. I mean, I feel confused, but I guess as long as you confidently still talk, that's the idea, right?
What, sell your dream even though you don't actually know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That sounds like politics in a nutshell.
So we do understand.
Oh, help, I'm in a nutshell. Well, I feel like I'm done. Oh, yeah.
Now you are.
Just sealed the deal.
Oh, man. God. Was that instant karma for like saying...
I reckon it was.
Was that the car saying, no, finish me? The amount of times I've seen you hit your head on stuff under that vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't quite get as far as I'd anticipated. The tunnel is not completed yet, but we do have a clear direction. We've cut up our JZX 110 piece, and it looks like we've got to cut more out of the car, and we don't need to put any steel back in anywhere other than the the seat crossmember that we've trimmed out. We did unpick all the spot welds and just cut straight across. Unfortunately, where I cut it, there is already a factory lamination in there. I've only cut through the top skin in that position, so we're going to be able to weld that back in as strong as it was anyway, so I don't even need to go making filler panels that I was anticipating to make. Also, where I did cut that seat crossmember previously through cutting the shifter hole kind of haphazardly, that is most likely going to either be trimmed or modified for the JZX 110 tunnel piece anyway, so all of that damage that we sort of caused earlier is going to be cut out, and it'll be all nice, clean metal and tidy and not horrendously train wrecky. So yeah, pretty happy with today's outcome. A little bit bummed that we didn't get as far as we needed to do, but I do feel like it's going to be a lot of gearbox in and out next week. So yeah, I really want to put a full day aside to do it properly, to be able to weld it in and complete it, tidy it up, paint it, stone guard it, leave it all basically done. Then we can put the box back in, hopefully for the final time. Make sure that we do also put the top bolts in, because you can't get those top bolts in without dropping the cross member down, the engine cross member down. So yeah, it's a little bit more fiddly than I'd anticipated, but I want to get it in most likely for the last time. So yeah, getting all that back together should be pretty good. So pretty stoked with the outcome, but a little bit annoyed that we didn't progress further than we thought. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
At least it's not a scooter episode.
No scooters.
I speak for a lot of people that unsubbed from that.
Yeah, all the people that unsubbed, all 68 of you, I have your email addresses, and I'm going to ask you directly why you unsubbed over one episode.
He's not. Don't unsub. That's encouraging people to unsub.
300 episodes and we do 2 on scooters and everyone bails.
But
I
thanks
thought
for
you
those
guys
that
are
hang
better
around.
than that. Thanks for the ones that didn't unsub. Appreciate it. Love you guys. See you next week. See ya. Good chats.